Okay, so here's the plan. What I want to do is, so I don't have to rerun the existing RCAs, because technically I only need one input from my head unit to my helix. So what I'm going to do is, bear with me, I'm going to take what's called a keystone plate. I don't know if y'all have seen them, but it's this. Now it's got a thing on the back. You can't really see it through the package. But there's a thing behind here with clips in it. And you use what are called keystone jacks. This is a keystone jack. See, it's got them clips. You can pop it in there, and that's going to hold it in. And all you're going to see is this end is going to be flush with the face plate, and you're going to see the jack coming out. Now, I really don't feel like spending $3 a piece for one of these and freaking $10 for a almost $15 plus shipping for a 6-port plate. So I figured, you know what? I got some scrap HDPE plastic, like a strong plastic, that I have left over from the project. I've got a bunch of these little jacks. Why not? Because these actually unscrew. You gotta take a little bolt out, take a little nut off. But they, I don't know if you can see, threaded, got that nut in there. Where's the ideal? It's got that nut right there. That's a little threaded piece back here. So I've got actually a pretty decent depth to play with. So they don't make, on top of that, they don't make junction boxes for RCAs. I can get like 2 in and 6 out, 2 in and 4 out, 1 in and 4 out, but I can't get a 1-to-1 ratio. I can't get 6 in, 6 out, because there's positive negative for each one. It's not just 1 and 1. So, but I can't get a 1-to-1 ratio for split, because I need a female to female to come from my male RCAs out of my head unit and then go male RCAs into my helix. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to do some over-the-top female on one end, male on the other end, so I can connect them all. No, we're just going to make it short, sweet, and to the point. So I'm going to make, I got some HDPE, which is, there's a little small strip right here. It's about that thick. So we're looking at about, what's that, 1/4 inch thick? Right about. Yeah, about 1/4 inch thick. So I got sheets of this, obviously bigger than this piece, but I got a sheet of this so I can cut, basically make my own keystone plate. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap the holes in it so I can screw these into it in the setup that I want. We'll see how it turns out. Number 1 rule, always make it out of wood first. Cheap wood, like scrap pine or something like that, pine plywood, or some particle board or something like that. Don't do the expensive stuff. Always make your template first, and then start playing with the actual materials that you're going to make it out of for a final product. Then you can get all fancy and all stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. That's the plan. Okay, so first and biggest rule, always find, you're going to be doing something, you want to I always make my test projects, my test blanks, like I'm making my actual build. So, got our speed square, set it up, find the square edge, and that's right there. We're going to mark it. So that's going to be the side that we're making all our measurements from. It comes from this corner out, because this corner is square. Now, the hell is over going to open? We're not using screws. That's in the garbage, which I need to take out. But this is what I was talking about, so you can see it better as I drop it and break it. So, if you look, there's a 3 in the front, but it's got that thing in the back. Take your RCAs, or whatever keystone thing you've got. forget which way it goes. There we go. And it just clips in. Then you got boom. And then take it out, squeeze it down, pull it out. And that's how a keystone works. They're nice, they're fancy, I like them because they're clean, but I can't find a black or a stainless steel one that's not freaking expensive. So we're just gonna come up here for our mock-up, edge everything up, make sure it's all flush. Square that off. Now we're not going to start cutting yet. Don't cut anything yet. Calm down. Nowhere near there. So it's nice, it's small, it's unobtrusive, but I got to make 6 holes in here. So looking at that 2 3/4. By 4.5. Cool. Sometimes these things are like completely oddball freaking sizes. Like 2 7/8 and 4 9/16. It's just, yeah, some of this stuff is just oddball as hell. So 4.5, gotta square it again. So 4.5, we're gonna come down. That is 2 1/4, so we're gonna mark our center right there. 3 3/4 is a lot of math. We're gonna say, I'm gonna line it up, my 2.5 mark right there. 3 3/4. Bang. Just a half. .5. 1 3/4. 1 1/4 is 2.5. 1.5 is 3. So there's that. There's that. That comes out to 1 3/8. Yeah. So there's my center point. And then from there, I got to divide that into 6, but I still got to have space up top and space down the bottom for my pilot holes, my mounting holes. Actually, no, I don't. I'm going to do 1 in each corner. All right, beautiful. So from there, 1 3/8. Each one of these, the shank on these for clearance. I thought it was hilarious. Everybody goes, why do you have 3 sets of calipers? Because you never know. You never know. And then we're looking at the hole is going to have to be, what's that? That's the half. One thing is, these things are a pain in the butt to read sometimes. I want it to be the right size, but I don't want it to be too big. Seriously? 3/8? Hmm, 3/8. So it's a 3/8 hole. So since we're doing 6, coming on there, thinking about doing one at the 1 inch and one at the 2 inch. But I gotta make sure I got space, because it's not just gonna be, you know what I'm saying? It's not just gonna be the center hole. I gotta do another bigger hole for the nut, and I'm probably gonna square that off so it like sits in there nice, so it doesn't spin when I'm tightening it up, and it just makes it look cleaner if you got a slight recess on there, so just the plug is up and the plug is out. Just looks cleaner. So we do the math. I'm probably just gonna fast forward through all this stuff anyway, just so y'all know. Don't do this. I've been doing this stuff for years. Use a clamp or a vise to hold this down. I've been doing this since I've been working with wood and making cuts since I was 10 years old, over 20 years. So I know what I'm doing. Do not do this at home. Done. Now, fits in beautifully. Obviously this piece is too thick. It's a 1/2 inch. Obviously that's too thick because there's no threads on there, but it fits in there beautifully. So now I know that in order to recess that in there, I'm going to drop this now, so I'm going to measure it off of the actual mount. Do that in there. And I'm actually going to cut this hole a bit smaller. Because this thing is at like 7/16 for that. Don't think I have a 7/16 bit. Nope, ain't got one. I can check and see if I got any Forstner bits that are 7/16. But now I want to cut a hole round about this size, and then I'm going to go in there with the chisel and flatten out some edges and make some spots for the points so it catches. Now again, this is just a wood mock-up. It's not the actual thing. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. These step bits, I'm not going to use a skinny one. I'm going to use the fat one because I'm making ledges. And it goes 7/8, 5/16, 13/16. Again, we'll use the calipers. Find one that's about the size. Like I said, we're going to go a little bit bigger. So I got to go 1, 2, 3 in because that's the size that just a hair bigger. I should be able to actually fit a socket over that so I can get it on there tight. So we're going to go to this 3rd level right here. The good thing about these step drills is it's got the point, so I can actually fit it in the hole that's in there already. Now, especially on bits like this, I'll hold it up until I'll hold the bit and I'll hold the chuck and spin it up until I feel it catching, and then I'm going to come down here and lock the chuck and then finish the tight. Otherwise, you will cut your hands up. Again, this is my beater table. 20 bucks at Walmart. Can't beat it. 1, 2. I'm not going super deep, so I'm just gonna edge it in there just a bit. And again, like I said, this is just a template, so we're just trying stuff out to make sure it works. That actually fits in there pretty nicely.
So if you look, you can see that sits in there real nice. There's not really any space. Minimal tightening on the back. There's no wiggle. And there's the plate. Boom. I got it planned out. And then now here's the question. Do I do 1/2 inch thick? Or do I just do a 1/4 inch? I'm going to do a 1/2 inch just to be on the safe side. Just to be on the safe side. So, get my HDPE out. And then I got the shiny side and I got a rough side. I kind of like the look of the rough side. So we're going to go with that as our up. Now, this is plastic, so you can't use a pencil on it. What I'm going to use as my mark is I got this center punch. There are also tungsten carbide tipped scribes used for scribing metal. You can use that. You can use a sharp blade. I like this because it sits in my hand just like a pencil, and it's easier. So if you remember, like I said, gotta find our square. Same dealio. Alright. This corner is my square corner. I'm not gonna mark it because this is the top. So this corner right here is my square corner. Square corner. I'm actually gonna mark. It's a square corner right here. I'm gonna come over here and mark that. So get that. Get on a solid surface. Get the edges lined up with your template. What you can do is actually, you can use a router for this. Two pieces cut. We are done with this. I've been doing this too long. I can freehand a straight line, damn near. Darn near. That's crazy. Alright. Now, get my blade. Just because I'm a little OCD on this. A couple of them burrs off. Clean it up a bit. This is something, if I make any more videos about fabricating and stuff like that, you'll see me. I'm always cleaning edges. hitting it with some sandpaper if it's wood. You know what I'm saying? Getting little burrs off. Evening stuff up. Just getting it clean. These are just about spot on. Boom shakalaka. So I gotta glue those together, and then that's part one of making templates. Okay, so what I did, I tried to use E6000 on it, but I'm not getting. It's a E6000 isn't sticking. It's not degrading the plastic, but it's not really holding it together how I want it to. It's had some good set time, and usually E6000 kicks in a lot quicker. So what I did was I use this stuff. We'll see if it works. It's supposed to be able to stick to plastic. I normally use that stuff to seal subwoofer boxes and speaker boxes, actually. So we'll see how it goes. I've got right there. Got the two pieces stuck together, so I have a 1/2 inch of thickness, and it's drying right now. Once it's dried and set, then we're gonna go through. We're gonna do tap some holes with the corner screws, countersink those, and we are going to actually route the edges to even them up. And I'm going to be using the that board on the bottom here as my guide for the router, so we can get squared off edges, and then we will go from there.